Tony Khan says AEW is under siege by anti-AEW bots. Can't have that. So here's some of the realest anti-AEW accounts on all of Twitter.
Oh shit! It's Pro Wrestling Bits!
Tony Twitter Fingers is back, and as always, he did not disappoint. This time, our hero Tony Tron is going after anti-AEW bots. Said Tony Twitter Fingers, an independent study has confirmed that much of the staunch anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts plus an army of bots to signal boost them. Look closely, these aren't real people who'd pay for such a wildly expensive thing, end quote. I'm sorry, but when did Tony Khan turn into Alex Jones? Khan is clearly implying that WWE might be trying to hurt AEW in the middle of a wrestling war. Yeah, nigga, and maybe Vladimir Putin should complain on Twitter and launch an independent study of his own as to why it's so unfair that Ukraine's air missiles have been so effective. Last I checked, all is fair and love, and you know the rest. People aren't praising Zelensky's leadership skills because he's so good at crying on Twitter about cyber attacks. Ukraine is in a war, so they're standing their ground and fighting, hoorah! Khan continued, quote, ever wonder why so much of the activity of these accounts is retweets and replies? Like, who actually has 80% of their activity as straight up retweets, end quote. God, Tony Khan is even starting to sound like a privileged white woman. Like, have you ever noticed that when you try to stab one of these anti-AEW Twitter accounts with an X-Acto knife, like they never bleed? Just like a fucking robot. Anti-AEW bots, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, little COVID. But Tony Khan is starting to sound more like one of these crying AEW fanatics than a pro wrestling promoter. Are you brand new, my guy? Will somebody tell this poor billionaire he's in a wrestling war with the same company that fired over 100 people during a pandemic? If they're that cold to their own staff, what the f*** did you expect them to do to the competition? Allegedly. What is Tony Khan looking to accomplish with his latest tirade? To me, it sounds like WWE is living in his head rent-free. Will Smith telling Chris Rock and America to keep his wife's name out their mouths has only led to more alopecia jokes. Clearly, Tony Khan didn't learn that lesson, so him publicly calling out anti-AEW bots has only empowered more of his detractors to tease him by identifying as bots. More on that later. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE was employing Twitter bots to control the narrative. You're in a wrestling war in 2022 with the notoriously competitive Vince McMahon. That also means the war will spill onto social media inevitably, where it now becomes a cyber war. And when WWE undermines you the way any rival would, your answer is to spend your own money to prove that your rival is hurting your reputation? Does he think Elon Musk will ban WWE from Twitter because of this? Because if that's the end game, then tip of the cap to Tony Twitter Fingers. Otherwise, this kind of sounds like Tony Khan is playing the victim here. I want AEW to succeed. I really do. But Tony Khan is in a fight against one of the most cutthroat companies on Wall Street, only to then launch an independent study when they allegedly used tactics to hurt him. Tony Khan started this fight by launching AEW, and now that it's getting ugly on Twitter, he's calling the research police? Anyway, as somebody who loves comedy, some of the funniest accounts in wrestling are anti-AEW accounts. I have no dog in this fight, so before we get into this top 5, be sure to also support some pro-AEW accounts like @ZeroContextAEW and @AllEliteMemes. But if you want to avoid the so-called bots, here are the top 5 completely authentic anti-AEW Twitter accounts that pump out original content on a daily basis. It might not even be fair to call them anti-AEW as much as they're just accounts that have no problem openly criticizing All Elite Wrestling, because God forbid. @AEW Neckbeards3, which now identifies as Autobot, takes aim at AEW cuckery among fans and media, leaving no stone unturned. AEW Neckbeards does an especially good job highlighting the hypocrisy among the AEW fandom. The extremely edgy @Masked Rider uses funny memes and a sharp wit to employ his AEW criticisms. He's since changed his name to the Midnight Bot, which is hilarious, but I can assure you this bot's got bars, and they're quite real. Wrestling Soup has one of the strongest meme games on Twitter and a successful podcast to boot. He even used Khan's latest Twitter tirade to make a cocaine joke. Damn, my man's wildin'. We can't talk about anti-AEW content without including one of the GOATs in Jim Cornette. No, I don't agree with everything Jim Cornette says, even when it comes to his criticisms of AEW, but sometimes I do, and regardless, boy are they entertaining. Cornette's criticisms were so prominent, AEW Cody Rhodes shaded him in a promo by calling him an old manager screaming at clouds. No list of AEW critics is complete without AEW Botches, an account filled with bloopers from AEW matches and promos while adding biting analysis and opinion. As a bonus, the most popular anti-AEW Twitter account in all of wrestling? At WWE, duh. What's your favorite anti-AEW account? Is Tony Khan onto something here? Let's talk about it in the comments.